My name is Delbert Salvadolina, and welcome to the virtual walking tour of my 4th grade mission project. Today we will be exploring Mission Santa Ines, the 19th mission in the California mission system. It is located in Solvang, California, which is about 35 miles north of Santa Barbara. It was founded September 17, 1804, by Father Esteban Tapiz. The purpose of the mission system in California was to bring the Catholic faith to the native people and convert them to Christianity. From where we stand now, what you see is the very front of the mission. Before we begin our tour, I want to show you an aerial view of the mission as it looked when it was fully operational. Parts of the structure you see here no longer exists, but back when it was in the shape of the quadrangle or a four-sided shape, from here, we can see all the different sections of the mission. Here, you can see the church, along with the Padres' quarters right next to it. Also, if you go a little bit up to the left, you can see the workshops. Straight up from that is the tannery. And then you can see the blacksmiths, then the stables and hay barn, with the corral, courtyard, cemetery, and the Native American living quarters. As we come back down, you may notice the campanario, or bell wall, right next to the church. Mission life followed a strict schedule. The bells signaled all the different activities of the day, which began every day with 6 a.m. Mass and prayers. Now let's begin our virtual tour of Mission Santa Ines. If you walk through these doors, you will enter the mission church. This is not the original church. The original church was destroyed in the earthquake of 1812. This building, which is still in use today, was dedicated on July 4th, 1817. If you can see, the sanctuary is a tall rectangle, 139 feet long by 26 feet wide and 29 feet high. If you look toward the pulpit, you can see Father Tapiz reading his Bible, preparing for Sunday, while these villagers climb all over my pews. If we exit the way we came in and head back outside, you'll notice livestock roaming about. The truth is, it took a long time before the mission was able to raise enough animals to support itself and all that lived here. In the early days, mission life was not easy, and they often had to rely on other missions to help provide enough food for the 450 people that lived and worked here. Once the mission was established, they raised pigs, cattle, and sheep and grew many crops such as wheat, barley, corn, beans. As we walk down this open hallway, you will see a few of the original 22 archways. On your left and to the right are the rooms where the fathers lived, slept, studied, and prayed. The spaces were simple, square rooms with beds, bookshelves, tables, and not much else. Now if you follow me straight through this door, it will lead us into the courtyard. Learn from our aerial view, Santa Ines is in the shape of a quadrangle. In the center of the mission's quadrangle, you would have found a beautiful courtyard and garden. This courtyard still exists to this day. In the center, there was a fountain with a path leading to it from each side of the quadrangle. The courtyard was mostly used to get from place to place throughout the mission. From here, they had access to almost every area. I will now move on to the workshops, where they made various different items the mission needed. A few of these items might be candles, clothes, soap, leather goods, and wooden objects. As you can see, there are people hard at work in here. I wonder what they're making. Outside of the quadrangle were two long buildings that served as the housing for the Native Americans. The tribe that lived there primarily was the Chamush Indian tribe. For some of them, the strict schedule was hard to adjust to. Many missed the freedom of tribal life and tried to leave, but were not allowed to. The men went to work in the fields and tend the animals, while the women did chores like weaving, sewing, soap making, and candle making. The children also worked, but received an education as well. Another activity that they worked at was making leather goods, which they did here in the tannery. Here they made fancy saddles with silver decorations as well as other leather goods. The mission's blacksmiths were the ones who made the horseshoes, farming tools, and construction tools. Their role was crucial at the mission, making work not just easier, but possible at all. Here, you can see blacksmiths hard at work making tools. Horses were critical to the mission's survival because back then cars and tractors did not exist. Horses were used for working the land, plowing, travel, and trade. Because they were so important, much of the mission's space was dedicated to caring for them. The stables are where they were kept when they were resting, and through this door is the hay barn where they kept all of their food. Right outside is the corral where they were trained and kept horses during the daytime. The last stop on our walking virtual tour is the cemetery, where fathers and mission workers that had passed away were laid to rest. Much of this cemetery is still there to this day. And that concludes our virtual walking tour of Mission Santa Ines. As we stated back at the start, many of these structures no longer exist. By 1836, much of the mission was secularized and rented out. In 1843, Bishop Francisco Garcia Diego was granted a large amount of land to establish a school. While the school of Our Lady of Refuge was being built, Mission Santa Ines served as its campus, which makes it the site of the first college in the state of California. Thank you so much for joining me today as we explored Mission Santa Ines of Minecraft. I had a wonderful time showing you around. Come back soon!